Ready, set, go.
Hello, welcome to what is in fact the first album reaction of 2025. I know we're already near the end of January, but I was busy. I was real busy, busier than I usually am in January. So here we are, new year, new album reaction, same guy. And we are listening to an album that I have been eagerly just chomping at the bit to listen to once I give myself the time and the mental capacity. We are listening to Negative Spaces, the newest album from Poppy. As I mentioned when I did the albums of 2024 tier list, I had listened to her previous album, Zig. Got about halfway through recording a reaction to it, wasn't into it, because she wasn't doing the metal. She diverged off into more of the sort of electro pop that she was doing at the start of her career. But she's back in the hard rock. Apparently for this particular album, she was working with Mr. Jordan Fish, formerly of Bring Me the Horizon, and apparently he's brought some of his sort of signature producing sound to that, keeping the hard rock and metal sort of feel in there, which was kind of how I got into her through I Disagree. So I'm very, very excited to hear this album. We've heard her do metal and hard rock in a few different forms. Flux, I believe, was a little bit more on the sort of like punk side of things. And then she did a couple of EPs that had the closer to metal sound with a little bit more sort of hardcore punk feel to it. Apparently, according to Genius.com, on this project, however, Poppy explores a more radio-friendly alternative metal sound while retaining influences from metalcore and nu metal. So, very excited to find out what radio-friendly means. Pretty ambivalent on making things more or less radio-friendly. If it still ends up being good music, God bless you. But I find that Poppy is not generally one that feels a whole lot of pressure to make things sound radio friendly, especially when you're in the world of metal. So let's find out. We've got 15 tracks, 43 minutes. A lot of these I notice are, in fact, we got a couple of tracks that are under a minute. There's one that's like a minute and a half. So we got some transitional bits in here, which I'm very excited. Some interesting artistic choices to be made in there. But we're going to start right off the top with Have You Had Enough? No, the album just started, Poppy. I have not had enough. I haven't had anything yet. I haven't had any of it. So no, I have not had enough. Maybe after this song I'll have had enough, and then the rest of the album is just extra. Ooh. We're fading in. Ooh. Hello, drums. Ooh. A little bit of a synth pad going on there. I like it. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, who is that background singer? Alright. Alright. Oh. Ooh. Ooh, there we go. Oh, I love that stuttery shit right there. All right. Ooh. So, first thoughts, immediate reactions. First off, radio-friendly metal. From the sounds of this, radio-friendly metal, it just kind of means it's a little bit more danceable, I think. I mean, any music is danceable with the right attitude. But this one's definitely, this song's got a fun little groove to it. You can kind of move a little more naturally to it. I like it. It does remind me of Demi Lovato's last rock album, Holy Fuck. Just sort of sound-wise, it's kind of hitting a lot of the same sounds. Obviously, this is leaning more into the metal. But even sort of the tone that Poppy is hitting with her singing, it's kind of bringing back some memories of the Demi Lovato album, which is not a bad thing. I like that album. All right. Ooh. Oh! There's a breakdown. Oh! Oh! Hell yeah, that's disgusting. Oh! Okay. I don't know. I'm curious as to what the process was like for Poppy, like learning how to scream, because obviously that wasn't really a skill set that she needed in the first couple albums of her career when she was doing the sort of like hyperpop, electropop sort of era. But pretty much from I Disagree on, all of a sudden she's got these screaming chops. Like where'd that come from? Did she just decide, oh, I would like to get into metal, I should probably take some screaming lessons, and has just been doing that since I Disagree? Or has she always been able to do that? And only, on this many albums in has been able to showcase it properly? I don't know. But I'm glad she's doing it. That was freaking sick. Oh, all right, and then a full-time. And more halftime, very good. Oh, with the sort of dotted notes to end it off there. Very fun. Oh, what a strong start. Oh, I'm excited. Oh, I'm excited. There's no about system or about section in here. So we're on our own for this one lyrics wise. But oh man, what a fun start. I am hoping that radio friendly does not mean that she doesn't get weird. I really want her to get weird. Is what I want that to be heard through all those double negatives. I want her to be able to get weird because she's really good at getting weird, but also maintaining a sense of groove and dynamics to her music. But let's try our best to parse through these lyrics. Verse 1, all the eyes need new ideas, buying fear to feed their dealers. Can't call it love and sound sincere, but have you had enough? Looking for an easy answer, find it in a lazy manner. Know you're never getting better, but have you had enough? And then the chorus, 'cause the cycle is vicious, the greed is a sickness, evil is all around, always reaching for something will leave you with nothing. There's no one to save you now. Okay, are we? Is this about capitalism? Because the greed is a sickness. Always reaching for something will leave you with nothing. Is that the angle here? Because that's also, you know, that's kind of where you get the looking for an easy answer, find it in a lazy manner. Like if you can find a low effort kind of shitty way to make more money, and maybe you're incentivized to do that, is a theory. I'm gonna keep going. Verse 2. Bet you think you could have had her. Fell into a common pattern. Lie awake, await disaster, but have you had enough? A narcissist who loves to chatter, a nihilist because nothing matters, an egotist on the wrong ladder, but have you had enough? Okay, so maybe this is a call to action. Maybe this is like Poppy is not asking, have you had enough that you want, that you're just giving up, but have you had enough where like, is all that's going on right now, is that enough to actually wake you up and get you to try and change things? Right? Like, if we're dealing with freaking narcissists and nihilists and egotists, like, is that enough to actually make you care about enacting change in the world? I'm starting to feel like that might be the angle that she's going here, is like, have you had enough? Are you actually going to do something about it? The refrain is, you lie to my face, you never give, just take. Now all my bitterness is getting heavy. Don't call the fuzz, it's just getting good, and there's no one here to save you now. Yeah, so it feels like she's kind of putting more and more pressure on the listener, on her audience, to kind of be like, you can't push this weight, this responsibility onto anyone else. No one's here to save you now. You can't just call the police, because it's getting interesting. You can't just shove this off to someone else. All my bitterness is getting heavy. We need to share in this weight, but it is a weight that we all need to bear. The breakdown where she's screaming her ass off is, there's a new high, but you just sink so low. You'd rather sit and moan. You're never looking for a resolution. Get what you settle for. Every cover will be overthrown. Okay, yes, she's trying to take on some empathy. Complacency is what she's going after, right? There's a new high. There's a new height of tension. Things are only escalating, but instead of actually reacting to it, you just sink and you sit and moan. You're not actually looking for a resolution. You're just settling whatever you can get, instead of actually doing something about it. I think that's the angle for us to take here, because it seems to track with the rest of the song as well. And I like that. I like that, especially as a start to the album, that she kind of is like beginning this whole project with, please get off your ass and care about some shit. Because I need your ears open and engaged for the rest of this album, possibly. Great. Good stuff. Let's keep moving to track 2, The Cost of Giving Up. Probably not a monetary cost. Probably some sort of abstract, non-pecuniary cost. But let's see if she can put a price tag on it. Oh. Okay. All right. You can definitely hear the Bring Me the Horizon sound. Ooh. All right, we got the drowned out drums. And then you bring it in. Nice, classic. All right. I like the piano. Ooh, a little bit of auto-tune there. All right. Okay. More weight, more heaviness. Ooh. All right. Oh, nice little break there. That was cool. Okay. I think the other element of, quote unquote radio friendly metal is that it seems like, at least, only 2 tracks in, we are following a fairly set sort of, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus kind of template. We haven't really broken off of that. If we do later in the album, then great, but that is definitely something that I would attribute to the radio friendliness of this particular album. Not that there's anything entirely wrong with it, but if you've got a template, it helps to know that you do have the license and the freedom to break that template if you have a good enough idea for it. Oh, there we go. Nice. Ooh, there's that break again. Ooh, double time, let's go. Love that. All right. When are we coming in? All right. Giving it a full few bars. Oh, and then we're building. Nice. There we go. Ooh, there we go. All right. Nice. Ooh, the low. That was cool. This is what I'm saying. It's like, when did she learn to do that? When did she get so good at it? Like, she's so good at it. The screaming. Big fan. All right, that was fun. I really, really want there to be a bit more variety in like song structure in these songs, because if the rest of the album is sort of more of that, then it is gonna get a little samey, I think. I really want her to get weird in at least a few of these songs, because I know she can. I know she's good at it. But if it is more than just more of this, as much as these 2 songs were good, I don't want a whole album of just this. So keeping track of it. But so far we're having fun here. This one, I think, is kind of her side of the same thing that we were looking at in Have You Had Enough? Or like in Have You Had Enough, she's confronting the audience with their apathy and complacency, whereas in this one, it seems like she's kind of turning that on herself. This is a bit more introspective. Starting with verse 1, today's a shade of disbelief. Inflict the shame you sent to me. I can entrust a new meaning. I'm not ready. Pre-chorus. So is this what it feels like? Breaking from the inside all the time. And the chorus, tell me, what's the cost of giving up? Why does it feel like help will never come? Maybe I'm the one I'm running from. It's too much to carry. It's all getting heavy. Lift me up. So it seemed like I mentioned when we were listening to it, she mentions again this big weight. It's too much to carry. It's all getting heavy. So she's feeling this weight as well. And now she's wondering what would be the cost if I also gave up. And I don't know if that's a hypothetical or like a rhetorical question, because there's this sort of combined thing of like helplessness. Why does it feel like help will never come? Like, why do I feel this way? How do I get out of that? Sort of looking for a way out of this hopelessness. And not wanting to give up, but feeling that pressure too, and the weight of it sort of making her want to give up. And she's sort of pushing that back on that and being like, what would actually happen? Like, how bad would it be if I were to give up? The breakdown is the other spot. Can't push me further down in the trench, back against the wall. So you want to test me now? While the others beg and fail to repent, they were fit to suffer, and I will dig back out. Jeez, there's a lot going on there. So maybe she's talking about people that instead of actually owning up to their mistakes, they just kind of like beg for forgiveness without actually acknowledging what they did wrong. You know, your classic sort of, YouTuber apology. And I will dig back out, as in she's the one that will actually do the work to kind of get out of this slump. Yeah, I don't know if this necessarily adheres to the same circumstances as what we were talking about in Have You Had Enough, but if it feels like there's this similar sort of starting point of hopelessness and helplessness. Maybe it's a little bit more personalized in this case for Poppy. And she's sort of asking someone, tell me what the actual consequences would be if I were to give up, so that I have the motivation to keep going and not give up, right? Like, give me that prerogative, that incentive. It's cool. It's this fun combination of sympathetic and also motivational. Like, it's motivational that's not coming from an unrealistic place. It's not just you can do it no matter what. It's a sort of acknowledgement of the dark place and getting out of it despite that, right? I like that. Let's keep going. Track 3. They're all around us. I am often surrounded by non-binary people, so maybe it is correct that they're all around us, or at least all around me. Wouldn't have it any other way. Coward! Oh, hello! Okay. Great. Ooh! Oh, we're... Okay. Oh! Oh, let's go! Okay. Alright. Nice. Oh, those double kicks. Oh! We're talking to some motherfuckers up in here? Alright. I have a hard time with sometimes these sharp cuts. It's a similar format to a lot of hip hop, where you'll have like the like brutal like rapping in the verse, and then you'll have the like lovely melodic hook as the chorus. And this is the metal equivalent, where you get the brutal, like screamy, aggressive verses, and then you immediately cut to the wonderful, melodic singing of Poppy's beautiful, light, angelic voice. And I know that a lot of the time she uses that contrast in very intentional ways, and that this is probably one of those cases. But sometimes it feels like it just doesn't fit. Sometimes the contrast is there without a justification, and so it feels more dissonant, but not like intentionally dissonant. It's hard to say. Sometimes I think that's a line that kind of is not walked along with much tact. Sometimes I think you can just hold on to some of the same energy. I do kind of feel like some of these choruses are feeling a little bit only slightly overproduced, only slightly. I'm hearing a lot of the same rhythmic choices for the choruses, where it's kind of opening up, slowing down a little bit so that you can hear the melody. That's fine. It's just when you hear it more than once, or in this case 3 times in a row, you start to hear the pattern, and patterns are predictable, both good and bad. But if you're listening through a whole album and you're hearing three same sounding choruses, you gotta watch yourself at that point. Okay. Drowning out here. All right. Ooh. All right. There we go. All right. I'm a sucker for a breakdown. Oh, a blit? That's the first blit of the album. I love that blit. Who's that singing with you? Nice. Nice. Ooh, that's a nice snare placement. Nice. Fun stuff. Big fan. Okay. Unfortunately, Poppy's a bit of a enigmatic kiddo, so she doesn't really provide a whole lot of insight into her music, which is fine. It's entirely her right to give as little or as much commentary on her work as she wants once it's out. But it does make my job a little more difficult. She is getting into some fascinating vocabulary here. Verse 1, stab me in the back and you don't think twice. Refute amity, and now I'm vilified. Horror raining down on the demonstration, down with your performative action. So, refute amity and now I'm vilified. This is basically, I think she's describing a situation where someone is presenting sort of kindness or charity to her in a way that she is probably perceiving as disingenuous. But as soon as she argues against it, suddenly she's the asshole because she's getting mad at someone that's just trying to be nice. And this is something that happens way too often, especially on social media, where it's so hard to read tone sometimes and it gets to this point where those that can't necessarily read into the tone or haven't had the practice to read into the tone of someone that doesn't really mean what they say will get mad at the person that is able to kind of read into that tone and sort of interpolate something that the other person that they don't see, right? They don't understand the conclusions that are being come to. So instead of, exercising curiosity in that, they just react and say, well, why are you refusing this person's kindness, when they're skipping over the question of, is this person actually being kind? Is this actually substantial and helpful kindness that this person is offering? Which then lines up with the down with your performative action, right? This is being perceived as someone that is trying to do the nice thing so that they're seen doing a nice thing, rather than just doing a nice thing for the sake of being nice. It's one of those sort of, being kind is not the same as being nice. kind of situations. Pre-chorus, rain down, you know you can't trust no one. Have you seen yourself? I'm not a sucker. I can see right through. So yeah, I think a lot of this is Poppy kind of poking through the facade of this sort of performative kindness, we'll call it. The chorus is, when your spirit's black and blue and the heroes all desert you, will you curse what's coming true? And the hate won't count you out, it'll leave you in the shadows. They're all around us. Maybe she's saying when people finally realize what you're all about, are you going to get mad? Are you going to get mad at, getting what's coming to you? And just because you've been the one on the side of the hate, as soon as that privilege runs out, do not think that you will continue to have that protection. Then verse 2, spitting more bars, we've got, never wait around for the day won't come. Disintegrate to a frail remembrance, stolen off the backs from the ones you loved. You take their hand, then you claim corruption. Which is, there's a lot going on here. This is like a freaking Hosier song with this vocabulary. Disintegrate to a frail remembrance. So, as in, just kind of like, there won't be much remembering of you. Because most of what has gotten you to where you are is stolen off the backs from the ones you love. You take their hand, and then you claim corruption. So it's sort of a having your cake and eating it too, where on one hand you benefit from the corruption, but then you're also like sort of half-heartedly confronting it, is kind of what I'm seeing here. The bridge and breakdown are, but underneath, under the weight of God, crawling on your knees, unbelieve all of the promise in you. There's a fate you'll meet. And then from every inch of the mire, they claw to grasp for what was never theirs to take. Ignorance is a poison. They feed their kids, and then they walk among us. Right. Okay. Also, I wonder if the spirit's black and blue. Is that a police reference? Is it a reference to police forces, not the band The Police? Doesn't have to be that, but I wonder if that's what that color scheme might be referring to, in which case that would definitely make the tone of this song a little bit more specific. Yeah, just this idea of like this group of people that are dedicated to a cause that is causing more harm than they believe. They believe that they're doing good in the world, but they're taking all these sort of licenses and saying all these things that they have no right to comment on. She's speaking to I feel like she knows exactly who she's singing to, but she's not making it particularly explicit, which is entirely her right. They're all around us. Sure, I believe you. Could be anywhere. I haven't done my laundry. They could be in there. Upon hearing that, I'm pretty sure I've been unconvinced that the they is non-binary people. That was a joke at the beginning. I think it's a different they. Yeah, just wanted to clear that up. Moving on to Yesterday, which is 48 seconds long. So we're going to go straight from Yesterday into track 5, titled Crystallized. Ooh. Okay, weird music box. Okay. Okay.
I can find comfort in the words. I won't let them out. I don't need to speak it out to hear this sound.
Okay.
Ooh. Promise to change.
Oh. I hear that. I hear those chords in the back there. All right.
I'm not moving back to your negative space.
There's. Okay, all right. We got some. All right, we're getting a little synth wavy up in here. Woo.
I've never been too good at love, but
All right.
my eyes dry. 'Cause if I
All right.
get back
I can jam to this.
grab what was mine. I'm predisposed to feeling low.
Nice. Good harmony.
Uncomfortable. You got a subtle glow, ethereal. You got me in a state of mind. Baby, it's a heaven.
All right, nice. Yeah.
'Cause my heart is full of diamonds.
This is some classic Poppy. This is some classic Poppy. I like this. I don't know if I would listen to a whole album of this, but I'm glad that she is putting more of this sort of like the stuff that sounds like her older stuff. I'm glad she's still doing it.
'Cause I don't wanna die. Don't wanna die.
No, me neither.
Before now, I don't remember why.
Nice. Okay. Ooh. Got that guitar in the back there. I like it. Ooh. I like that stutter. Ooh. Sort of glam rocky up in here.
Never be alone again. I was talking
All right. Kitty. Okay.
broken and bored.
Right.
I was praying to God, make me happy.
Uh-huh.
I wanna be adored.
That's fair. That's valid.
Heard his voice on the speakers.
Who's God's?
I knew he was my cure.
Who? I don't know if this is God.
And I swore I'd never
Uh-huh.
be alone.
Okay. Not sure how you can hold up that promise.
Maybe it was perfect time, all my tears are crystallized. And I'll never be alone again.
Okay. Oh. A little bit extra here. Oh. 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 Oh, it's weird. It's weird vibes. Oh. Okay. That's clearly going straight into the next song, so we'll stop it here. Great. That was a pop. That was a good time. I enjoyed that one. I do love a little bit of sort of synth wavy glam rock kind of shit. That's good stuff. This one seems to be about loneliness in one way or another. Let's start with verse Juan. I've never been too good at love, but I'll wring my eyes dry, because if I never get back up, I'll regret what wasn't mine. She's not letting herself feel too bad about herself for too long, you know? She admits that she's not great at the whole relationship thing, but she's gonna, you know, wipe off the tears, get back up, because if she doesn't get back up, then she doesn't know what she could have had. Then pre-chorus, I'm predisposed to feeling low, to feeling lost, uncomfortable. You got a subtle glow, ethereal. You got me in a state of mind. All right, so she's met a person who, despite her sort of defaulting to this sort of lower, you know, uncertain, restless, uncomfortable, sort of not really knowing what she is supposed to do with herself, she meets this person that seems fascinating and you know, lifts her spirits perhaps. Then the chorus, maybe it's a heaven sign, let the angels' fate decide, because my heart is full of diamonds. Maybe it was perfect time, all my tears have crystallized, and I'll never be alone again. She seems to like this person. Her tears have hardened up. They're not, you know, flowing quite as freely as they once were. Maybe it was maybe it was perfect time. So her tears have frozen up. You know? That's been put on pause. We don't need to cry right now. because we're with this person and we'll never be alone again, ever again. I don't know how I feel about that line. That sounds like an impossible promise to hold up, but we're not going to worry about it for now. The bridge was interesting. I was talking to Kitty, who, she has an actual cat. Poppy references her pet cat Pi, just P-I, in this line, saying that talking to him keeps her company and improves her well-being. Very cute. Love it when we're talking to our cat. So we're talking to Pi, the cat, seldom broken and bored. Pi has never known hardship. Pi does not know what a mortgage is, nor what rent is, nor what the price of gas is. Pi doesn't care, and that's great. But also, we were praying to God, make me happy. I want to be adored. Heard his voice on the speakers. His, I'm assuming, being this person of desire. I knew he was my cure. It was then I swore I'd never be alone again. Now, again, language of the cure and never ever be alone again. Not entirely sure I vibe with that, because no one person is going to solve all your problems. It's unhealthy to expect that of one person. You also can't assume that you'll never be alone again. You got to be ready for that possibility. You got to be secure in yourself. You got to do the work within yourself to be comfortable with yourself on your own. You know? The promise of never be alone again is simply not worth maintaining. So I think that's all I've got to say about that. Hope Poppy's doing well. I hope she's happy with whoever she is with, whether that's this guy or her cat. I hope they live a long and happy life. Both Poppy and cat, or Poppy and other person. Let's keep going to track 6, Vital. Let's find out what's vital. Ooh. Alright. Got some bass synth. Oh, and we're back into the rock. Nice. Alright. Very cool. Very bright and sparkly. Alright. Alright. A little bit of a shuffly drum beat here. Alright. Ooh. Nice. Cool. Alright. Okay. Alright, so we're about a third into this album. I'm starting to feel a bit of that sameness I was talking about. I'm starting to feel, I don't know if you watched my reaction to Willow's album, Lately I Feel Everything. That was the one where she had a lot of help from Travis Barker, and as a result, the album overall had what I described as some Travis Barkeritis. This album seems to have a little bit of Bring Me the Horizonitis. I don't listen to a whole lot of Bring Me the Horizon. I know that this album definitely sounds like Bring Me the Horizon. It feels like Poppy's just featuring in a Bring Me the Horizon album. It's kind of how it feels so far. I don't want to make any too harsh of judgments at this point in the album, but we are far enough in that things are starting to feel a little samey. I am looking forward to if she has some sort of breaks in pace. Crystallized was a nice break in pace, but I think we're going to need a little bit more than just one or two breaks in pace. I'm kind of looking for a real substantial shift in sound as we approach the back half of this album. It's kind of what I'm looking for here.
It's
What are we doing for the bridge? Oh, it's a rolling build is what it is. Alright. Alright. Alright, then we're... Ooh! Alright. Okay, acoustic guitar. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Okay. That one. Yeah, I think I said it earlier. Like this is the point where it starts to feel a bit samey. You know, it's hitting a lot of the same beats. It's getting predictable, is what it is. And that's a shame, because one of the things that I loved about I Disagree was its unpredictable nature. I know that you don't necessarily need the same sort of core tenets that I Disagree had. It was very much its sort of weird unpredictability and dissonance in tones and sounds. Was very much part of the aesthetic of that specific album. But you can still pull choices like that in the rest of your stuff. You know, you can learn things from your work that you just sort of scatter throughout, even if it's not, you know, a main pillar of an album. And I just don't feel like I'm hearing that, you know? I'm hearing some very cookie cutter metal is what this is. It's unfortunately getting a little too radio friendly. Let's take a look at these lyrics. Verse 1, my heavy mind sinks lower by the minute. I can barely stand it. Tear through the line, seeking absolution. Can a fragile heart decide? She's having a bad time. Having a bad brain day, sounds like. Looking for some sort of, you know, certainty, some sort of solid ground. But also having a hard time believing that in her state she would be able to find something like that. Pre-chorus, will it end in tears? Will I let the fear win? Take the ride or die while trying. Have I seen it all? Why am I so divisive? I can't fight it. Which, that's an interesting line. One person says, this could reference her constant involvement with drama and never having her past be left behind. May also be talking about her reception by the rock and metal community, working hard to be fully accepted and embraced and taken seriously by the scene, even as going as far as being called a poseur or a parody of metal. I've never considered her a parody artist. That's a weird thing to call her. I get the gatekeeping. I don't know anything about her drama or having her past left behind. I am definitely aware of sort of the gatekeeping that people have been doing with her in the metal world, and unfortunately, just because of some portions of the world of metal music, that's just kind of a thing. It's not good. Shouldn't be a thing, and we should actively work to kind of have those people be less and less influential. But it is at the moment still a thing that unfortunately I know Poppy has had to deal with. So maybe that's what makes her divisive. She can't fight it. She's just making music. She's just making the choices that are interesting to her. You know, she can't help but have the singing voice that she has, right? It's also just the amount of misogyny that you can find in some pockets of the metal world, or its own can of worms. Chorus, underneath, over me, we're spinning in a spiral. You hold me in a vicious cycle. You lie to me casually, and I'm dying in denial. It still feels vital. So maybe this whole song is sort of about her dealing with all of this bullshit, and as part of dealing with it, she's just like, yeah, I think this is a necessary part of it. Like, that's kind of how she's been dealing with it, is just being like, this is just part of the business, and hasn't taken the moment to say, okay, but should it be? Like, maybe I shouldn't have to deal with this. Like, maybe this isn't a vital part of the process. It still feels vital because it's just so pervasive, but maybe it's not actually all that important or necessary, and maybe we can actually do some work to do away with those toxic elements, you know? And then the bridge. Have I read the signs? I've been everywhere and back again. Don't know if I read it right. I've been real discerning at my heart's request, but everything you are is vital. Maybe where we get back into sort of this framework of a relationship between two people. You know, been around the block a few times. Don't know if she's done everything perfectly. She's been trying to be thoughtful, trying to be discerning, trying to be considerate. And even if things seem bad, she still feels like this person is vital. Even if the person is not a literal person, she's still sort of holding on to whatever that is and considering it vital. Which is, like, again, say what I have about the song's musical elements and the context of the rest of the album. I do like that. I do like that sentiment. That's a cool thing to write a song about. I just wish it was a little less predictable. So, in the interest of finding more unpredictability in this album, I'm going to push go. I'm going to push the play button to play push go. So I'm going to push the go button. Ooh. All right. Back to the... I like this. Ooh. This is like a club beat. I like it. All right. I like the sound. All right. Okay. Where are we going from here? All right. Nice bass synth coming in there. I like it. Nice. What's the chorus sound like? Ooh. All right, clapping. Ooh. All right. This is fun. I can get into this. Oh, back into this. All right. Okay. So this is cool. I like that we're keeping the, in this particular case, we're sort of putting the rock in pockets. We got some rock pockets. It's like a hot pocket, but inside of the microwavable pastry is just rocks. So it's a rock pocket. It's not the thing where you're a kid and you just grab a bunch of rocks from your back alley or your yard or something and you put them in the pockets. Totally different. Totally different kind of rock pocket. It's not at all what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the microwavable pastry called the Hot Pocket. But when you open up the Hot Pocket, it's still, like, other than what's inside, which you're not going to believe it, it's rocks. Everything else about it, totally normal Hot Pocket, but it's got rocks. So it's a rock pocket. All right. Are we going to keep the claps going in chorus number 2? Ooh. No, we're going straight into it. Very nice. All right. There's the halftime. All right. Nice. Nice. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Getting a little syncopated up in here. See, that, like, putting the breakdown in the bridge there, which is also usually where the breakdown happens, is not unpredictable. So they haven't quite broken away from that. But I'm not criticizing this song for that, because that chorus is still like rhythmically feels different from the rest of what we've heard so far in the more rock heavy songs. It's got a little bit more of a punk sound with the sort of like emphasis on the quarter notes instead of the more halftimey feel. So it's different. It is a different feel, and that's exactly what I've been looking for. Song structure still pretty cookie cutter, but there's enough of a shift that I can forgive the rest of the sort of predictable elements of it. This is great. I'm enjoying this. I'm bopping along. This is one of my highlights so far. Ooh. And then we're back to the claps. And then go all in. Ooh, whole new verse for the outro. I like it. Hell yeah. That was a blast. Big fan of that one. All right, you're pulling me back in, Poppy. You're pulling me back in. We're about halfway through, but you're pulling me back in. All right, you got me back to attention and ready for the second half of this album. But before we get into the second half, let's take a look at these lyrics. Verse 1, every boy and every girl thinks they want to change the world. Non-binary people, hard to say. You'd have to ask each individual one. But as far as every boy and every girl, cis or trans, they think that they want to change the world. They don't know exactly how to start, which is fair. That's a big task to take on. I've been everywhere. I haven't, but Poppy has. And she knows that what they never tell you about is you need to keep protecting your own heart. Very interesting. Okay, so Poppy's going to be giving us a little bit of advice from her own experience as someone in the public eye, to the boys and girls, as to, you know, how to protect themselves while also trying to make an impact on the world. Pre-chorus, going from there. In the dawn of the darkest of times, hear their cries out from far away. It's the battle of one versus us, keeps us lying awake. Then the chorus, because you know it's one step, push, go, and start to believe. Don't make it complicated. Paranoia is guaranteed. If you're free falling, hit the bottom. Take it from me. There's a glow on the sidewalk you're walking on. One step, push, go, and start to... Okay, and then she repeats that and then ends it with push, go, no hesitating. Okay, all right, so let's try and dissect some of this advice. One step, push, go, start to believe. It's one step at a time. You just gotta push yourself forward. Start to believe that you can make it. Don't think about whether you can or can't. Just tell yourself that you could make it. Don't make it complicated. You're gonna overthink things. Paranoia is guaranteed. Just account for that. Just account for it. Move past it. If you're free falling, hit the bottom. If you're free falling, let yourself feel that. Take it from me, just like learn your lessons from hitting that bottom. There's a glow on the sidewalk you're walking on, right? There's the sidewalk, whatever ground you're hitting, there's something special about that is valuable. Then verse 2, every girl and every boy, once again, is trying to fill a deeper void. Non-binary people, they're doing other stuff. They're off trying to find cryptids or whatever they do. Every girl and every boy, though, they're trying to fill a void. All right? Non-binary people, they've already figured their shit out. They've filled that void. They're fine. But boys and girls, they're trying to fill a void. They don't know exactly where to start, which is fair. That's a lot to ask of someone Poppy, however, wouldn't you know it, she's been everywhere, and now won't shed a single doubt you need to keep protecting your own heart, just to reaffirm that. Bridge, they're feigning as they all conspire. Desire only takes them higher. I'm telling them, paint the world in neo color. Profess the message to your lover. Paint the world in neo color is cool, because it basically literally just means new color. So like, paint the world in the way that only you can. Tell the people you love that you love them. Say it. Paint the world in neo color, right? Put out into the world the things that only you can put out into the world. And then the outro is cool. Chaos keeps me warm. It goes on and on. Make it who you are. You can push go, no hesitating. Just allow the chaos to kind of shape some of who you are. It's gonna keep going. Let it impact you, the chaos, you know? Just roll with it. That's great. That's great. Big fan. Huge fan of that one. That's a so far a favorite. Moving into track 8, which is titled Nothing. There's nothing in this track. Oh wait, there are actually lyrics. So this track does not contain nothing. It contains something that's probably about nothing. It's not about nothing. It's about something, and the something is nothing. Makes sense. Okay, we're hitting hard again. All right. All right. All right. Ooh. All right. Woo. They're hitting hard in this one. Woo. Nice. Woo. We're kind of back into the same beat so far, but we'll see what they do with the chorus. All right. All right. All right. A lot of the same beats that we've been hearing in the first half of this album. Yeah, pull out some pretty interesting choices to keep me on board with this one, guys. Please. Show me something new. I've heard this song before. Alright. What are we doing with this? Is this? There we go. Alright. Sure. Alright. Ooh, nice. Alright. Nice hits. Nice little solo there. Very good. Nice. All right. Again, it's pretty standard for the course so far. Not going to be writing home about that one, but you know, it's girly pop. It's for the girls. You know, I do truly believe that metal, it's jams for the girlies. I'll say it, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. It's for the boys as well, but it's for the girls. You know. Not as big as the last one, but it's good music, right? Like if I had this song come up on my shuffle when I'm listening to literally everything else on my phone, I'm going to let it play. But within the context of this album, I've heard this song before, right? That's kind of what I'm saying. She's got a very, very talented band, very good at playing their respective instruments. But within the now 8 tracks that we've heard, I've heard this song 3 or 4 times already. Let's get into these lyrics and then see where we're going from there. Intro, you'd cave under pressure, wade in the dust. Are you the aggressor? Why do you fight to be right? Moving into verse 1, can't sleep with eyes closed, they come for blood. Cut them, they're multiplying, they walk among us. Among us. When mercy's weakness, if God will judge, just make it painless, keep looking up. There's a lot going on here. Can't sleep with eyes closed. They come for blood. All right, we're sleeping in shifts. There's a little bit of danger, some sort of perceived threat. Cut them. They're multiplying. They walk them. They walk among us. You can't just kill them because they just keep. There's for everyone you kill, there's 3 more coming. When mercy is weakness, if God will judge, just make it painless. Keep looking up. That line, when mercy is weakness, feels like a clue. Because if mercy is perceived as a weakness, then we're getting into why is kindness perceived as a weakness, right? Why is charity perceived as weakness? Why are those things considered bad? I'm not sure quite yet. Chorus, because I'm pleading my own defense. I made the same mistakes again. You hang it over my head. Can you tell me, what do you want with me when nothing's enough for you? Okay, is this... So then this feels like a bit of a... Poppy might be defending herself a bit. Maybe she's made some questionable decisions in the past, which has been referred to. And now she's like, I'm pleading my own defense. I made the same mistakes again. You hang it over my head. Which, to a certain extent, does sound like accountability. If you're making the same mistake that you know that you keep making, at a certain point, you gotta take the necessary steps to enact change in that. So hang it over my head, depends on what that looks like, but that might not be the worst thing. Can you tell me, what do you want with me when nothing's enough for you? So the nothing's enough for you does feel like a bit of a deference. Like she's deferring. Because if she's making the same mistakes, maybe the thing that's enough is for her to stop making the same mistakes. Right? Maybe it's not a thing of nothing's enough. It's that the thing that would be enough hasn't happened yet. And those questions need to be asked. Breakdown, I've seen the end over in my head, testing me with insanity's grip. Because the truth will bury you. What do you want when nothing's enough? Okay, so she feels like she can't actually tell the truth because they won't want to hear it. So she's been replaying this conversation over in her head, and she's just like, it's all over if I actually like let this out. Because the truth will bury you, and it's testing her with insanity's grip. So it's driving her insane. What do you want when nothing's enough? Maybe we just say the thing. Maybe we don't assume that it'll be the end. Maybe the truth won't bury us. You know? I'm not trying to, chastise Poppy for her lyrics. These are just sort of my thoughts, reading these thoughts that have been written by a person, possibly based on a personal experience. That's kind of the vibe that I, as someone that knows next to nothing about the situation that she may be referring to, that is the vibe I get, and those are the thoughts that I would have on that. Gonna keep moving to number 9. The center's falling out, which is unfortunate because we're around the center. So what part of the center is falling out? Because I might have already gotten past that. Might not be a problem. Okay. This. Okay. Ooh. Oh, we're speeding up today. All right. Oh, we're screaming in the chorus too. Ooh. Oh. All right. Are we slowing down?
The pain grows in misery's bed.
Sure. Okay.
Falling out.
Uh-huh.
See the cracks in the pale white.
Uh-huh.
Watch you suffer.
Oh, sure.
Nothing.
Well, that seems mean. Ooh. Okay. That's neat. It's girly pop. Ooh. Jeez. Oh, this one hits. There's 20 more seconds here. Oh. Nice. Nice. Very good. Nice. Oh, I like the ring of the snare at the end there. That was a nice little choice there. Nice a touch. Okay, great. I liked that. That was a nice change of pace. Very good. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, Christmas Miracle, Poppy actually had things to say on this one. She said, I remember when we were working on that one in the studio, Steve had a riff, and I had this concept, and I knew I wanted to scream that day. Sometimes you just wake up in the morning and you're like, I think I gotta scream today. It was purely based on the emotion I was going into the studio with. That's how that song came to be. I like to imagine myself singing it live, and it's definitely freeing for me, I think, because there's the unknown with heavy music, and that song's a bit more raw on the record. I agree, which is one of the reasons I like it. I can hear myself smiling and frowning and gritting my teeth in that performance that we ended up using for the eventual take. Makes me chuckle a little bit because I feel like I'm hitting all of my internal markers. That's great! That's such a cool little look into her creative process, and like sort of the idea of hearing her go through that whole process of getting that vocal take. That's very, very cool. Let's find out how she was feeling in this song, which does remind me, and this is just as much me reminding myself of this as it is to just everyone in general. Sometimes you don't need to have a specific message for a song. Sometimes you're just hitting a vibe. Sometimes you're just expressing a emotion. It helps to make it more specific so that you can write about it. But if you just got a vibe, that's fine. And with that said, verse 1, admit defeat, the buzzing won't ever stop, in the trench, in the rot, plead with God, because it's all that you got. We got a bit of fuck it energy going on here. It's a little bit of negative fuck it energy going on here. Chorus, hell has no end, hate has no bounds, you're breathing, but the center's falling out, blood in the leaves, hand over mouth, won't hear your screams while the center's falling out. I don't know what the center is referring to. Maybe it's her center. Maybe she's just entirely lost her center. She is not centered. Maybe that's what we're talking about. Verse 2, no one will weep. The agony won't be discreet. The horrors proceed, and your legacy can't be redeemed. We're going full doom here. We're going full, it's all gone to shit. We're in pain. We're not being discreet about it. We're not being inconspicuous about it. It's all out there. Interlude, I wish you nothing. I wish you nothing. Just nothing. Not even the song Nothing that we just heard. Just nothing. The pain grows in misery's bed. So true. While the center's fallen out. Through the cracks in the pale white, I watch you suffer and do nothing. She doesn't do nothing. She doesn't play the song that we just heard. She does nothing. And outro, and with a clutching grip for hope, let me take you back to where you're from. Eye for an eye, I earned my stripes, I run in your mind. Eye for an eye, I earned my stripes, I run in your mind. And then we end. That's all we're going for here. I did my work. I made my choices. And now it's time for you to see what where this has all come from. Great. Big fan of that one. That's another highlight. Depending on what this next track is, we might move straight from it into the one after. The next track is called Hey There, and it's only 1.5 minutes long. So depending on what this one's like, we might just go straight from there into the one after, which is called Negative Spaces. And looking at some of the lyrics for Hey There, I think we might just go from Hey There straight into Negative Spaces. So let's do that. Ooh, piano. Oh, hello? Who's laughing?
Negative Spaces.
Yeah, that is the album.
Is there motivation in negative spaces?
I don't know. I remember you asked me that earlier. Have you?
Are we all just trying to restart?
I don't think we're all trying to do that. Hey. No. No, I'm not terribly nervous right now. I'm chilling. All the talking? Talking about what? Are people talking about me? Oh. Well, that's good. Okay. Oh, do you? That's good to know. I don't know what I'm on to, but that's nice. Okay. Okay. What no? I don't know why you would. I think I would much rather be Poppy. She seems to be doing well. No. Okay. Never. Okay. Negative Spaces. Ooh. Okay. This is very Demi Lovato. Alright. Nice. Oh, this one's actually got Jordan. Nice. With the woes. Nice. Alright. Ooh, okay. See, this one's got a little bit more of the punk energy to it. I wouldn't call it like fully punk, but it's definitely leaning more in that direction than the rest of the album has been. Also a nice change in energy. Alright. We're vibing in the bridge. Alright. The gods and the dogs. Okay. Okay. Are you? You should get some help for that. Oh. Ooh, a guitar solo. Okay. Nice. Alright. Kind of hoping for more from that, but... Ooh. This is fun. Okay. Alright. I like that ending. As far as title song goes, that was was a little bit on the vanilla side. I was really hoping for more from that guitar solo, considering we're like 3/4 into the album, and that was the first like actual guitar solo we've heard. I feel like Mr. Steven could have done a little bit more with that. Let's see what Negative Spaces is actually all about. Verse 1. At the world, I'm amazed, but you'll never tell by my face. The sentiment is overblown. All the lies are stuck in my throat. So she does, in fact, strongly react to the world. She's got this sort of, stone face, almost monotone persona that she's sort of developed for herself over the years. But she is, in fact, feeling things. The sentiment is overblown. All the lies are stuck in my throat. But with the chorus, with accompanying woes from Jordan Fish, I fill my skull with nonsense, live in implicated consequence, and it's also negative. I'll pretend that it's not happening. Right, so she has kind of been going through this whole album with this sort of background awareness of that negative space, that sort of existential dread, and just kind of letting it simmer and fester there. And so far, we're pretending it's not happening. Verse 2, what I love, they're always trying to take. And my fury is keeping me awake. If your furries are trying to keep you awake, you may be entitled to legal compensation. I'm immune to the heartache. I've been living with the dull pain. Am I addicted to despair and wasting time I'll never get back? If there's a hell, I'll meet you there. I'm in the waiting room. Okay, all right. So we're just sort of sitting in the negative space, you might say. She's just so bogged down in this negative state of mind. That it both makes her immune to the heartache, but also just has this dull pain that she's been living with. So the unfortunate thing about being immune to heartache means that you're also kind of numbing yourself to any positive feelings, which is a shame. Then in the second chorus, she adds an extra bit, which is, I like what I represent. My anger comes at my expense. There's always something to be up against. I'll pretend that it's not happening. Okay, so she's kind of then placing herself in her role as a musician and as an artist that has, something of an audience and something of a fan base. She says, I like what I represent. She likes the presence that she has. Her anger comes at her own expense, right? She's kind of, not putting herself first for the sake of her own art. There's always something to be up against. Like her art, she's putting out her art as a sort of show of rebellion, regardless of the effect that it has on her own mental state. And she pretends that the effect that it has on her just isn't there. Which then leads us to the bridge. To me, to us, to everyone, the world, the gods, the dogs, I'm not impressed. But I attest, I say with my whole chest, every moment's vital, and I'm feeling suicidal. But I smile. Which is concerning. If it's, getting you feeling that way, particularly, maybe you ought to do something about that. Maybe it's good to take a break from making things for other people and make something for yourself that can actually help you. There's no shame in that. Sometimes, doing the mental health album can actually be some of your strongest work. Poppy, hope you're doing okay. Hope you're taking the time you need for yourself. Yes, you are an artist making things for other people, but you gotta take care of your heart. You were saying that in Push Go, you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta protect your own heart. So make sure that you're doing that. Meanwhile, we're gonna keep moving to Surviving on Defiance. Maybe this is what she's been doing.
When I run, you won't find me.
This is a slower pace.
In my steps.
Oh! All right. I like this. Ooh. Okay. Very cool. Okay. Okay. Are you? Nice. Nice. Aww. Damn. Okay. Okay. Damn. Okay. This one's got some real, like, genuine, authentic energy to it, which, you know, you can really only know to a certain extent how authentic someone is being, because authenticity is entirely dependent on whether the person knows they're being authentic or not. I'm not in Poppy's head, so I can't know 100% how authentic she's being, but this definitely has a certain energy of, like, a little bit more honesty, a little bit less irony than we've been getting in the rest of the album. I like this. Ooh. We're getting the drummer's dropping some vessel fills here. A little bit of vessel number 2 here. Nice. Ooh. Those extra little flourishes that they're throwing in feel very Sleep Tokeny. Oh. Okay, and we slow it down. Very nice. Nice. Okay, just 20 seconds of this. Interesting. All right. Good. What was that? Okay. That one goes straight into the next one, which I have appreciated the certain element of continuity that we've had from this album. A lot of the songs seem to flow into the next one, and I do like that. Props to Poppy. Props to Poppy for doing that. Great. I really enjoyed that one. I don't know if I would call it a change of pace, but it was a change of vibe, which is sort of hard to place. But it did feel like its own sort of moment in this album that I very much appreciated. Let's get into these lyrics, which kind of show what I'm talking about. First one: when I run, you won't find me tracing my steps. From what I wanted, all the horrors you made so real burned in mind as promised. So she's maybe running from some trauma. She's not planning on revisiting those things anytime soon, which is fair. That's valid. Pre-chorus: if I'm living, no, I'm half alive. I'm surviving on defiance. Which, if that's what it takes for you to survive, cool. Yeah, go with God. If I'm living, no, I'm half alive. So yeah, she kind of knows that she's not, like, maybe she doesn't want to survive on defiance long term, but it's what's getting her through the day right now. Chorus: I'm fighting in the wake, unfettered, so maybe flowers will bloom for me again. The mirror in my face, she's screaming for blood and violence, but it's my time to pretend. So this is giving us a little bit of an extra window into how she's doing. Poppy doesn't, like, takes a while to make an album and put it out, so feels like in the writing of this album, or wherever these songs were coming from a time when Poppy was not doing so well. I hope that since the release of the album that she's doing better. But this album is not coming from a particularly healthy time in her life, it seems. But she's fighting for the hope that flowers can bloom for her again. The mirror in her face, the Poppy that she is currently working with, maybe not particularly stable, feeling very, very fight or flight right now, but for now it's time to pretend a little bit and fight for a better future, which is great. Good for her for doing that. And then the second verse is, as it was, I was losing myself to a fear as a bittered constant. Oh, I refuse to know you from here. I'm a tempered object. Okay, so she is sort of setting this sort of thought of like, I don't want to get too deep in a relationship as I am, because she knows that she's a person that is going through a thing. She is being tempered, right? She's being put through heat and pressure, to kind of put it literally, as a bittered constant. So she doesn't want to be known or to know someone in the place that she's in right now, because she is sort of aware of the fact that it doesn't reflect the best of her, which is super fair. I like that she's put this song in this album. It's a very vulnerable place to have us in at this point in the album. Great. The next track is called New Way Out. Maybe she found a new way out. Maybe these last 3 tracks are about her finding a brighter place. Hopefully. Let's find out. Ooh, we got bow. A little bit of that. I like it. Okay.
Poppy.
Ah! Oh, hell yeah. It's been a while since she's opened a song with her name. Oh, this is fun. I like this a lot. Alright. Same vibe as the top of the album. Alright. No. I think I might have heard this song before. A little bit of a bounce to this one. Nice. Okay. Ooh. And then jumping right into that is a fun choice. All right. That keyboard sound is definitely a sound that she used in I Disagree. It might have been in the extended edition. I'm trying to remember what the song was. If you also recognize it and you know what song I'm talking about that uses the exact same keys sound, let me know in the comments, because I know she's used that sound before, and it's a nice. I'm glad she brought it back, because it's definitely a fun one to use.
Are you gonna get up? Or are they gonna
Yeah,
keep
I'm.
you?
Ooh. Ooh, a little bit of What a bop. It's for the girls.
'Cause they push and pull me down, and I'm forced to face who I've become. The silence screams so
Cool choice coming crashing in on Silence. Oh my goodness, hitting the high melodic note and then going straight into the screaming. Wonderful choice. And ending with an oh. Big fan. Big fan. Love that. Huge fan of that. Really enjoyed that. Okay. Jeez. In an interview with NME, Poppy talks about mainly listening to pop music while writing New Way Out, citing Madonna and Britney Spears as influences on this track. Okay, yeah, I hear that. When talking about the song, she calls it a fresh take on her sound and adds, I go into the studio with an emotion that I want to address. There are plenty of things happening in the world to be angry about. So true. Saving yourself is the overall message. You have to advocate for yourself sometimes. That's what I was just saying on Surviving on Defiance. That's what I was just saying. You gotta take care of yourself sometimes before you can try and take care of other people. Big fan of that. Okay. She also said with Spin, she said, the song started from scratch, as many songs often do. Swiping through my notes, I had just written, I need a new way out. That was existing on its own page. I was like, I think maybe I could do something with this. Yeah, that sounds like something you could do. You could make a song for. Hanging on to yourself is an overall sentiment in the song. In life, for me, it's like a recurring motif where if everything is lost if everything is lost and if everybody left right now, at least you have yourself. That was something a really good friend said to me when I was going through a rough patch a couple of years ago. I was saying, I don't know what I would do. And they just said, well, at least you have yourself. That's great. That's so good. That's true. It's like, you gotta be careful with at leasts, but you're right. You do still have yourself. And you gotta have a positive relationship with yourself in order for that sentiment to mean anything. But you do have yourself, and you have that person in yourself that you understand yourself. Don't want to say the word yourself too many times because then it starts to lose its meaning. But yeah, that's great. You gotta take care of you. So with that all known and said, let's get into these lyrics. Verse 1, I'm in too deep. I'm make-believe. I know the demons always choose me. They shift and twist, push back again. They're always trying to consume me. Right, rough patch again. Just everything's going badly and it's always a different problem. Pre-chorus, I cannot let it in. They'll take my everything, but leave me nothing. I've lost all feeling. No, I don't want to bend to my own loneliness. I'll scream till nothing's left, on and on. So she's still got that fighting spirit in her, as she always has, which maybe there is that sort of like, there is still that fear of losing everything, which is then buffeted by the still have yourself kind of sentiment. But we're not going to worry about that for now. We're going to move on to the chorus, which is because they push and pull me down and I'm forced to face the who I've become. The silence screams so loud, I caught myself before the bottom. I need a new way. Give me a new way out. So that's, she seems to be using that chorus as that moment of revelation, of saving herself, and forced to face the who I've become. That's what I'm referring to, is you gotta be able to be comfortable and be happy about the person that you are and be friends with yourself. It's kind of what I mean. The silence screams so loud, I caught myself before the bottom. You have to be the kind of person that would support yourself, and not just support in a tangible way, but just like be the kind of person that would, stick out for yourself. If you were a separate person that you could have for a friend, would you have your own back? Right? Like, would you be a good friend to yourself is something that you might want to think about. And that new way out is sort of that self-reliance, that ability to kind of feel supported just by yourself. Verse 2, the pain and all the pretty things are yours if you can bear to see it. You are the risk, the reckoning, if you're brave enough to mean it. Yeah, you can sort of be your own intervention, right? You can be your own sort of checks and balances to a certain extent, if you can sort of bring yourself to handle it. As long as you're able to keep yourself going, then you're gonna get pain, and you're gonna get all the pretty things. And then the breakdown, pretty straightforward. Are you gonna get up, or are they gonna keep you down? Followed by down and all, and then her just being like, get up, just do it, please. But yeah, you gotta be your own way out. It's basically what that song's talking about. And now it's time to close things out, because the next track, titled Tomorrow, is only 52 seconds long. So we're gonna go straight from that into the ending track, Halo, which is an optimistic final track title, because it implies some sort of ascendance, as far as I can tell. But let's hear about Tomorrow first. Ooh.
Dreaming.
Okay.
Dreaming my life away
Okay.
for tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
For
Right.
tomorrow I'll be ready.
Good. Glad to hear.
Tomorrow I'll change.
Okay, well, you can...
Tomorrow.
Right. You can change today.
Tomorrow doesn't wait for me.
Correct. Tomorrow doesn't exist.
But it's not just for me anymore.
Oh, no?
I like entertaining.
That's good. That's good.
Don't we all like entertaining?
To a certain point, perhaps. I
Tell
do.
me.
Okay. Tell you what.
Tell me.
Tell you what.
It's not just for me anymore.
Has it ever been just for you? Let's find out in Halo. Ooh, starting out a little slow. A little contemplative. Alright. Getting a little bit of a nice xylophone in there. Very pretty. Sounds like we're getting a little introspective here.
I was fine for a
Okay.
minute, till I remembered you were
Alright.
somewhere on a distant shore. You left it as it was before.
Alright. Very nice.
Window of panic, this world hadn't landed.
Mm-hmm.
Still something that it's looking up.
That's good.
Or can I knock on self-destruct?
Whoa, what a question. Okay. Like, maybe. I don't know.
So wait it out.
Ooh.
The road is winding down.
Okay.
It's all you have. I know you can't turn back now.
I like this melody. This is nice. It's very hopeful. Good.
'Cause they don't know what we know.
Oh. This is reminding me, sound-wise, a little bit of some couple of the tracks on I Disagree. Like a little bit of Sick of the Sun, but also a little bit of Don't Go Outside. Some great songs on that album. There's a little bit of this that also kind of reminds me of a bit of Porter Robinson. Just some of the like sort of key sounds and the melody of the chorus gave me a little bit of that vibe. I like it.
I'm hanging on 'cause I trust. It's easier than giving up.
Oh, that's good to hear. That's huge. That's a big decision.
Million more reasons, and I'm full of ambition. You know what? Look at us.
Look at us. Who would have thought? Yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Nice. Oh, this is lovely. Oh, that's great. Ooh. Oh, an optimistic breakdown. I love it. Those are some interesting minor chords that are thrown in there. Cool. Oh, man. Awesome. Awesome. Man, the back half of this album really brought me back around. I'm a big fan of this album. I like it. Maybe I'm still gonna disagree as my favorite, but this was a really strong stuff. That was a great way to end things. Just at least on a narrative level, and musically that was wonderful as well. Let's take a look at this about section. The track touches on enduring love, standing by someone through difficult times, and the unspoken bond shared between two people that others may not understand. It speaks on resilience and trust, reminding us that sometimes the strongest love is the one that persists when no one else is looking. That's great. No notes. No notes on that one. She nailed it. Get into the verses and start unpacking some of that resilience via love and friendship. Verse 1, I was fine for a minute till I remembered you were somewhere on a distant shore. You left it as it was before. Caught wind of a panic. Does woe have a limit? Still something about it's looking up. Or can an optimist self-destruct? Okay, so we're starting verse 1 from a bit of a darker place. Maybe there's a bit of a distance between Poppy and the person that she is, the other person in this song. Sort of getting all up in your head about the distance between you and this person that tends to give you a lot of support and is a very key person in your life. But something about it is still looking up. Or can an optimist self-destruct? There's still that element of uncertainty in there, but like there's that undeniable element of optimism, you know? Then the chorus, so wait it out. The road is winding narrow. It's all you have. I know you can't turn back now. I'll follow where your light goes, because they don't know what we know. That's great. Just like sort of leaning on the truth of the strength of this relationship. Just knowing that you have this person and that they have you, you know? You can't turn back now. Just follow this other person's light and sort of rest in the love and friendship that you guys have shared, you know, whether you've expressed that friendship publicly or in private. It's those private moments that matter a lot. Verse 2, a live and learn lesson, a lover's edition. I'm hanging on because I trust. It's easier than giving up, which is huge. The fact that hanging on because you trust a friendship is easier than giving up. We started this album with Poppy saying it feels so easy to give up, but now at the end, it's easier to trust someone. That's huge. That's character development. That's freaking character development over the course of this album, and that's great. I love that. 1,000,001 reasons, and I'm full of ambition, and they're gawking as we keep it hush, question raising you-know-whats. You know what? Look at us. You know? Maybe this isn't necessarily a romantic relationship, but maybe they're so close that they start to get a little bit of, will they, won't they energy. And maybe other people are sort of whispering about it, talking behind their backs. But they say, you know what? It doesn't matter because we've got what we've got. And what, romantic or not, it's something special. And that's really all that matters. Look at us. Look how far we've come. Who would have thought? And then they extend the chorus. You're in a dream. You're everybody's hero. But it's you and me. Still love you if the light goes out. I could fix your halo. Still they don't know what we know. So yeah, she knows that she's living a big life. Everyone looks up to her. But for her, the only thing that matters is, her relationships with the people that care about her. And even if her light goes out or their light goes out, she'll be there for them to fix the halo. I don't think the I could fix your halo is an I could fix them kind of thing, but it's this thing of like she knows them well enough and has enough of a role in their life that she knows how to help them. She can't fix their problems, but she can at least shine some more light and maybe help them turn their light back on. That halo as like a source of light. Still, they don't know what we know. They don't have to, Just because you have something special doesn't mean that you have to share it with the whole world. You don't have to broadcast that. You can if you want to, but it doesn't make it more or less valuable if you just let the relationship be what it is, observed or not. And then we end things with the outro. The future's never gonna wait. Every plan will have its place. I could fix your halo. They don't know what we know. Future's not waiting up for you. You just gotta move. Every plan's gonna have its place. Things will fall into place as they do. But for now, if you need help, I can help you out. We're the only ones that know what we have in this relationship. And ending the album on that is a beautiful, beautiful, encouraging note. And that's the end of Negative Spaces. I like that we ended it kind of not in a negative space. We actually ended it in quite a positive space. Props to Proppy for doing that. I think because obviously this album came out in 2024, and I had wanted to listen to it before the end of the year, but it wasn't in the cards. So retroactively, if I were to put this in an actual spot on the tier list, I think I would put this either like at highest, I would put it squarely in the middle of Shit Slaps, because it do. At worst, I'd put it on the high end of it's a good album. It is a good album. She does good work. I think I was still looking for a bit more sonic variety than what I got. I think certain songs felt a little too sanitized, a little overproduced, but I'm not going to fault her too much for that. She's got a good band behind her. She's got some great talent on her own. Any project of Poppy's, I'm happy to check out. So that's going to be all for today. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, I hope you did. If you watched the whole thing. If you watched the whole thing and you didn't enjoy it, there's got to be better ways to spend however long this video is. There's got to be other things that you can spend that amount of time on that would make you happier. So go and do those things if you didn't like this video. Make yourself feel a little better. For those of you that did like this video, maybe you want to communicate that to me by clicking the like button. Helps me out. If you got thoughts about this album, if you got comments on my comments, if you got thoughts about my thoughts, leave those in the comments. You can also let me know any other albums you would like to see me react to. I'll put them in the queue. If you haven't subscribed, now's a great time to do that. I do a lot of this. I do a lot of gaming. It's mostly gaming on here, if I'm being honest. But I also do some audio theater with my friends. We game every now and then. We do live streams. It's chill. If you want to support the channel in a more tangible fashion, you can head over to my fourth wall. I've got my merch shop there, as well as my membership tiers. You can make a one-time donation if you want. All in any of it is hugely appreciated. You can check out what the membership tiers get you. See if that piques your fancy. I'll shout you out in these videos if you do that. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.